These vintage shows would be censored and canceled by networks today. Season 1 of Charlie's Angels was a jiggly game-changer. During a time where television was transitioning from conservatively dressed female homemakers to daring divas in low-cut blouses and high-rise miniskirts, the Jiggle TV movement began. Popular shows like Charlie's Angels, Wonder Woman, and Battle of the Network Stars showcased this trend to audiences everywhere. Yet not everyone embraced it with open arms. Paul Klein, an NBC executive, coined the term jiggly TV as a way to critique ABC's approach of pumping out shows with excessive titillation and action-oriented storylines that had great ratings. ABC kept the jiggle TV craze alive and well throughout the 1980s, producing nostalgic sitcoms that not only titillated their viewers but also kept them tuning in for more. But this groovy movement wasn't just limited to television. It spilled over into other media as well. If you didn't think there was any jiggling beyond your favorite shows, think again. There's enough bouncy content out there to make waves across all of pop culture during the era. Be warned, these photos are bound to evoke strong nostalgia. Charlie's Angels Season 1 is a must-see for any fan of Jiggle TV. With the iconic Farrah Fawcett as blonde bombshell Jill Monroe, it attracts viewers from 14 through 65 tuning in every week between 1976 and 1981. The cast may have changed over the course of 7 years, but their signature sexy style remained consistent throughout. For 5 glorious years, smoking hot actresses like Cheryl Ladd and Jacqueline Smith rotated through the roles of private investigators on this show. Every kid growing up during that time definitely had their eyes glued to the TV when it was airing. With all its thrilling undercover crime-solving adventures, viewers were sure to have a blast watching each episode. It's hard to know where to look on Battle of the Network Stars. Even if you don't follow sports, Battle of the Network Stars was incredibly unique. Not only did viewers get to watch their beloved TV stars engaging in tests of strength, but it was a prime example of programming from that era which focused heavily on watching women dressed in tight clothes execute abnormal tasks. This wasn't an unfortunate side effect of production. It was one of the reasons why this show came into existence. There's no doubt that when they proposed this program, its producers knew exactly what kind of exceptional work they were creating for celluloid history. Marcia Brady stuns in a miniskirt. Marcia Brady, the well-mannered oldest sister of the iconic Brady Bunch family, endeared herself to fans everywhere. But Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia on screen, was anything but wholesome off-camera. In her book, she confessed that during filming for the Brady Bunch in Hawaii, she'd been taking drugs and partying hard, even hooking up with her brother, Barry Williams. There's something so captivating about an angelic character juxtaposed against a wilder side lurking underneath, one we could never have imagined from watching beloved episodes of the Brady Bunch. We couldn't hold back any longer. It was our first kiss, and it was long, passionate, and deep. It was wonderful, too, though as we continued to kiss and press against each other so closely that we could feel each other's body heat, a part of me, a tiny part admittedly, said to myself, "Oh my God, I'm kissing my brother. What am I doing?" Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. The second season of SNL was hot TV for cool kids. During the late 70s, watching Saturday Night Live was a surefire way to stay in the loop with current trends. With hilarious actors like Bill Murray and beautiful comedy babes such as Lorraine Newman and Gilda Radner, SNL became the show for young comedy nerds looking for some incredible entertainment on those lazy Saturday nights. Not only did it offer non-stop hilarity that tested boundaries of propriety, but also made staying home about more than just snuggling up on the couch. It meant basking in an atmosphere of coolness. Carol Wayne and Johnny Carson make quite a pair, NBC. Whenever Carol Wayne made her entrance on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, audiences knew they were in for a night of great entertainment. She was impeccable when she appeared as the matinee lady in Art Fern's Tea Time movie sketches, and always delivered double entendres that would even get Hugh Hefner turning a bright shade of pink. Not only did she have an immensely successful career during the 70s, but her most popular appearances were alongside Carson, where it seemed he genuinely enjoyed working with her to create some unforgettable comedy routines. Even though tragically passed away all too early in the 80s, we can still remember this incredible woman every time we keep things groovy. Yeoman Barros tempts the Enterprise crew in Shore Leave. Emily Banks' character as Yeoman Barros in the iconic episode Shore Leave of Star Trek captured and entranced audiences across generations. Her performance, alongside the crew's reaction to illusions on Shore Leave Planet, coupled with her romance by Dr. McCoy, is unforgettable. Despite only featuring once in the series and not even being named until the credit sequence, she's become an icon among sci-fi connoisseurs. What makes her so alluring? Could it be her mischievous smile or piercing figure donning a red dress? Perhaps it's both. Charles Bronson and Jill Ireland were the hottest couple of the 1970s. Was there ever a more spectacular pairing than the strong and handsome Charles Bronson with the foxy Jill Ireland? London-born Ireland was adored by all, particularly when she graced our television screens in shows like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Star Trek, or Mannix. We just couldn't get enough. Her appearance on the silver screen alongside her husband were equally as captivating, appearing together in over 10 films that demonstrated their undeniable bond of love and devotion to each other. An inspiring story of romance if ever there was one. Helen Slater as a sultry Supergirl in the 1984 film. Christopher Reeve may have popularized the role of Superman, but in our eyes, Helen Slater was nothing short of a hero. At only 18 years old when she landed the part and 19 when filming wrapped, it's staggering to think what this young star achieved. What were you doing at that age? How did Helen manage to land such an iconic role so soon after high school? Apparently, having guts pays off. According to Slater herself, being bold is how she got where she is today. I think part of my having gone through performing arts high school, I was bold. I'd made a cape and a skirt, and I went in with glasses as Linda Lee. I was a little bit fearless. I don't know if I would have had it in me if I hadn't been through performing arts. Gabe Kaplan walks Joyce DeWitt across the field on Battle of the Network Stars, 1978. Gabe Kaplan was a force to be reckoned with on the classic show Battle of the Network Stars. He personified what it meant to be an athlete in the 1970s. He didn't just look like a Greek god, but ate an entire pizza and still outrun his opponents. Even though he wasn't necessarily considered attractive by traditional standards when compared to others at the time, there's no denying that Gabe could get results. In 2008, he humbly accepted this reality about himself and celebrated his accomplishments rather than regretting them. I'm sure it looked like I couldn't possibly win. I looked like a guy who should be hanging around a deli, and he was, like the macho man of his generation. Things heat up between Robin Hilton and Johnny Carson. Who could forget the sizzling Robin Hilton in Blazing Saddles? Not only was she a total knockout, her voice possessed an undeniable allure that made men's hearts flutter. Even Johnny Carson, celebrity interviewer and man of steel-like composure, couldn't help but be smitten when he interviewed the former Playboy model. It was such an unexpected pleasure to witness their playful, flirtatious banter on national television. We don't get this kind of entertainment today. Engaging conversation between two captivating figures who are clearly charmed by one another. Truly unique and memorable stuff indeed. Sally Field catching rays on the set of Gidget. When Gidget graced the small screen, America fell in love with her instantly. But it wasn't just the character that stole hearts. Sally Field was selected from anonymity to portray Gidget and had no idea what she was auditioning for. As she later recounted, "When I did an audition scene with my mother to get into a workshop, I did a scene from Toys in the Attic by Lillian Hellman, and I didn't have a clue what I was saying about sexual repression. I had no idea. I got into the workshop and there were a lot of casting people who were watching the audience scenes, and the casting man came out the next day and asked me if I wanted to come to an interview. So I went to that interview. And at the end of the summer, it was for a television series called Gidget, and I got it." What's hotter, the Blacktop or Jungle Pam? Jungle Pam is an unstoppable force in the world of blacktop hotties, and she earned it. Not only did this racetrack babe serve as eye candy, but she actually worked on cars with her traveling partner, Jungle Jim. Hot Rod magazine took note of her beauty and charm and featured her work. Soon enough, people up and down California had heard all about Jungle Pam. She first started by accompanying Jungle at 18 years old after a chance encounter in Westchester, initially just as a backup girl material, but eventually became a full-fledged driver herself. It was when she began driving Jim's 1973 Chevrolet Vega that everyone couldn't keep their eyes off of her. Vroom vroom, indeed. Everyone on Three's Company was living the dream. Who wouldn't want to live the life of Jack Tripper in Three's Company? For 8 seasons, John Ritter, Suzanne Summers, and Joyce DeWitt delighted us with their antics as they strove to keep up appearances in front of their landlords. With 2 gorgeous women living under one roof and a restaurant business on the side, not to mention all sorts of hijinks. It's no wonder we were so envious. It seemed that every guy's dream was unfolding before our eyes. Let's be honest, who doesn't wish they could have such an incredible experience?